Hey, as per usual, I will be making things. So surprising for an art channel. Hopefully the audio's okay. I got this mic. I got a mic. Well, I got it last year, but I never really had a reason to use it. Until now. I'm testing it out. Hopefully it sounds good. Hopefully my phone doesn't fall, because it doesn't really fit well in the phone stand I have. Also, I have a new case on it, and I have a wallet case, and that really does not fit well in these. So, it's kind of being held up here with a rubber band. So, hopefully that's good enough. Anyway, I have my sketchbook out, and I'm going to be redesigning my avatar, because it's okay. It's a good persona for me, but I don't really use it. And I think, if I'm going to draw myself for this, I might as well, make something that looks cool and does more than just get the job done, I've tried to draw it a couple times, which I'll probably be showing, or I have shown. I don't know how I'm gonna edit this. Yeah, my past drawings, they're okay, they get the job done, but I don't really put a lot of thought. I haven't put a lot of thought into it. Before, I've used them to try and been drawing facial expressions for it and different poses, so I could use it to I don't know, do some voiceovers and have a little me, emoting what I'm saying. I don't know. Problem with that is I don't really ever keep track of the brushes I'm using, because I've been drawing them in Procreate, and I should probably keep track of how I'm drawing it. And then I keep getting bored with the design and keep changing it, and then just deleting all of it because it looks bad. So, figured let's start from scratch, because I keep missing that step. I keep skipping to trying to skip to the, final result, which it's not very conducive to, a good design. So we're going to be starting from scratch. So, start with brainstorming and adjusting the camera, because it's crooked. I think it's going to stay crooked, but I can at least say I tried. So the thing that most of my designs have in common is that it's a kind of goblin looking character, greenish skin, kind of pointed ears, or just bigger ears. So I like that, going with that kind of theme. But no, I don't know how goblin I want the character to look, how much of green little thing that rummages through your trash do I really want to incorporate into this? Or at least my previous designs look a lot more just vaguely goblin inspired than just straight up goblin. So what do we say? Well, let's just go we'll go with goblin core, get that idea into the design. Something I think that I'm pretty set on. It's kind of the design I've been going with, because that wasn't my first design. My first design was just me before I had tried to make an animation that I wish I kept, because there was a really cool flight segment in it. There was a pretty decently animated part of one of my dragons flying across the screen. It actually looked pretty cool, but I deleted the whole thing because I decided I didn't like it and I needed to start over. But in that, I kind of put myself in there, and I kind of made myself come out of the shadow. I was going to call the channel awkward shadow, or awkward shadow friend, because I'm kind of that person that just kind of follows you around because I don't really know what to do and I'm awkward. So if you try to take me to a party or any sort of social gathering, I will just be standing behind you or next to you. But I kind of like that. I didn't really keep that, but I kind of like that idea. I used to think it was a very unique concept, but apparently there's a few superhero or supernatural characters that are kind of like that. or fantasy or whatever. It looked cool, and I think it could be a cool thing to include in like animations and stuff. So we'll write that down as a possibility. Apologies for my handwriting. What else? I mean, I need it to look like me. It's my representation of me. That's kind of important. It's a little character of me, so I'm gonna make it look like me. What else? Should we do a little like, so like I want it to have glasses, probably. It always kind of feels crowded when I try to add glasses, but that's kind of what I look like most of the time. I usually wear my glasses, so if it gets left out, it gets left out. I guess this and other things would go more into accessories. I was thinking like some sort of, if I include this, it's gonna look, the design might look a little crowded, but I was thinking of some sort of mask. So yeah, we should just leave it at mask because I have a couple different ideas for that. So like, you know, like the lower half of your face, or like one that covers the eyes. I think that would look cool, and you know, why not? And I could kind of like tie these two together if I wanted, make something cool. Honestly, these are kind of like the main things I wanted to include. I've been drawing myself with a hoodie and like maybe, or like a, ooh, you know, what about like one made out of like scales, you know? What else though? I could include like some sort of necklace or something, but I think there's enough going on near the face that I don't really want to include too much else. I also do want to kind of design the environment that this character exists in. It might kind of be a lot to do at once, and this whole process is going to take a while, so I'm definitely not. I'm going to come back. This is what I've got. Not too complicated, but there's some ideas. And I think later I'm going to plan out the environment. Just like, you know, to give my character a background. But one thing at a time. So I think I'm gonna go with the mask that looks like this. I don't think they need that it needs to be on all the time. So yeah, something like that. This is kind of difficult. I have to draw around the camera. I can't really see what I'm doing super well, so apologies if this looks bad, because I'm looking at it at a weird angle, and I keep drawing the ears too high. But it's just, you know, to get ideas, so it's not a big deal. I want to just start sketching out the things, different ideas that I wrote. It's just warm myself up a little. I haven't really sketched anything today, so just do a couple little sketches. But yeah, something like this, I think, would be good. Oh, glasses, that's right. It's gonna be kind of hard to fit in. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like how they look. I feel like it just, because I want to be able to like see the character's eyes well, and I feel like glasses might get in the way of that. I don't know. So let's start thumbnailing. Let's just sketch out a few different ideas. Yeah, I haven't drawn anything today, so this isn't gonna look great. I'm also doing this in pen, so I'm not gonna be doing a whole lot of fixing my mistakes here. Oh well. Messy bangs. So I could do a mask and a hoodie. Oof. This is messy, but that's okay. It's just a sketch. We're just getting the ideas out. I could also maybe have it like shaved or really short on the side. Cut the sleeves off of the hoodie. I also have the option of layering a flannel on top of the hoodie. So I'll do a few more sketches, hopefully ones that look nicer than this, and I will do that, and I will come back and show you what I've got. Hello again. This is what I've got. I've done a little more sketching. I've done like some full bodies. I've done some stuff with the masks, trying to see what kind of mask I'd want. Do a little bit like glove, little look inside the mouth, just, you know, brainstorming. I like these sketches, and I like most of the masks. A couple of these aren't masks, like goggles and glasses here too, just to see, because why not? Let's just throw out ideas and things that I think would look cool. I really like these two. I like this one more. So I think something kind of like these, but much like shorter, more, the proportions are more squished in, not to the point that it looks like a child necessarily. So I don't know how I'm gonna pull that off, but like less lifelike, less human proportions, I think would make it more fun. But I like this. I like something like this, I think. But I'm still not sure entirely if I want to keep the goggles or just ditch them entirely, because that, like a mask and glasses, takes up the entire face. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Thinking maybe some like fingerless or like biker gloves, I don't know. Just ideas. I don't know. I like the cargo pants. I think the flannel over the hoodie, I think it looks nice. I don't know if it's the greatest design, purely because I'm going to have to, if I want to use this a lot. Like, I'm worried that the design might have too much going on. But yeah, not entirely set on the skin tone. I think it's gonna be more pale than anything. Like, if it's gonna be green, it's gonna be very pale green. I think the tones for the skin that I had in previous designs will work fine. I don't think it needs to be super green. I think I'd rather it not be. I think I'm not just going to stick with one outfit necessarily, but I do want a fairly set color scheme, because that's a pretty big part well, it's an important factor to consider in character design, because a color scheme will help make this more or less memorable and recognizable. I'm thinking blue and gray mostly, just because I think those look nice together, and they're colors I wear and use a lot, and I think it looks nice. I don't want something too saturated, but I do want a little bit of color, so I think that would be a pretty decent choice. So yeah, something like this is what I'm thinking. And I can choose whether or not to be wearing those goggles or clothing or not, depending on how I feel like drawing it. But yeah, this is what I've got so far. This is what I'm thinking. I like what I have here. I think what I'm going to do is maybe go on Procreate to play around with this a little more. So, I've spent a little time on my iPad in Procreate working on this. Yesterday I was also doodling stuff in my sketchbook just to pass the time, but also to, you know, brainstorm on this a little bit more, and also because I feel like I can draw things better than this. I'm still not super great with the iPad and with humanoid figures in general, but especially on the iPad. So but this is what I've done in my sketchbook, and I like what I have here so far a lot more. Some of the sketches still aren't great, like this one. I mean, this was like my first sketch of the day, and I wasn't really using a reference, so it doesn't look great, but I think these two look pretty good. They're just sketches, obviously, but I might just put them in here. I might just put them in the digital thing and draw over them and add some color and see what that looks like. I mean, I think honestly they might actually be the designs I go with more so than what I have here so far. Yeah, I think I've pinned down the aesthetic and just the whole look a lot better with these two. I think they look cool, so I will update when I have a little more done over here. Okay, it has been a hot second since I last worked on it. Well, not worked on this, but filmed anything. So I figured I would just quickly go over what I have. I have been drawing this a few times, and I think I'm pretty happy with the design. So this is what we had before. And yeah. This is why we need references, because the head is way too far forward on this. But yeah, I've drawn this a few times, and I think I like the design I have. It's fun to draw, which I think is a problem with the past drawings, is that I just wasn't interested enough to want to draw them all, to draw them over and over again. But I like this, and I like it enough to keep drawing it. As we can see, I haven't had a ton of time to actually focus on this, so these are just like sketches I've done during class, just over the course. That's for a different project, but over the course of like the past few months. That's what I've been doing. And then here, so this is what I had before. Just, you know, some ideas for the character. Yeah, I had been pretty happy with the coloring and the design. I really like how I've been coloring this. I might use a different brush, but yeah, so this is kind of what I've had, and I've got like the colors saved. I think I'm pretty happy with them. And then I have this as like a little shadow form of the character. I think it'll be more clear if I get around to animating it. But this is kind of what I had for a while, and then I wondered what it would look like with blue hair instead of brown. But I wasn't too sure. I asked a couple friends and got a couple different answers. I had a couple more people say blue than brown, but I like the brown because I think it goes well with the warm colors, like all the browns that the outfit has. I think work better with the brown, but I do like the blue color. And I did get a few people saying they liked blue. So this is kind of what I have now. I kind of like how it looks with the split color. I'm not sure if it really fits with the aesthetic that I've kind of set up here, but I think I like it enough to keep using it. I tried it like having it in the back. You can't really see it very well, but I don't know. I don't think that one looks as good. I like how this looks. I might just do half and half as opposed to having them on diagonals from each other. Yeah, I can't decide if I just want to do brown or do blue and brown here, but I can change it, is the thing. I can change it pretty easily. It's a pretty easy design to make some changes and tweaks to. So I think I'm just gonna start with one, and you can voice your opinions on how it looks, and I can take those into account and make some pretty easy changes. But yeah, I think we'll go with something like this for now, and then if need be, just change it all back to all brown, or change it up in however I feel like it. So yeah, I will show you the final version of what it is I'm going for, and then that'll be it. Hey, okay, so first things first, I did change the side of the head that had the blue hair coloring. Kind of an accident. I was kind of just drawing drawing this, and then I forgot which side of the head had the blue hair. I was kind of going off of autopilot, and I was just coloring it, and so that's just where it ended up. So the little animation before it is, I guess, incorrect now. But it's okay, because I think in the end I like this better. And I said I'd be playing around with the hair color anyway, so, but I like this better, because the change means that there's less blue overall, and it's less in the forefront, which I think works a lot better with the overall design, since there's a lot of browns and tans and like a warm yellow tone green. I think this works a lot better, and it just overall I think looks and fits a lot better. So it was an accident, but it was a happy accident in the end. So yeah, overall I really do like how this looks. I like the final result. I had a lot of fun drawing it, much more fun than the previous designs. It's a lot more to draw, but it's one that I could probably do more consistently easier than before, although that has to do, I think that might have to do more with an increase in skill as opposed to a easier design to replicate, since there's a lot more going on here. Yeah, I like this a lot more. I think it's a lot more fun and a lot more creative. And I like this design, or I like this style better. I enjoy kind of seeing the kind of messy. I prefer the messier lines with the stuff that I make. and seeing a little bit of the like structural stuff still there. I don't know. I just don't really like how things turn out when I do actual line art with like a pen tool, which is probably more due to my lack of skill in that area, as opposed to it just not being as interesting to me. But I like this. It looks fun and sketchy, but still kind of finished and polished enough for this. I think it kind of fits the tone I'm going for pretty decently. In terms of what I don't like, I don't really like this entire video. It didn't really go necessarily how I envisioned it, just because a lot of what I did happened off camera in my own time not dedicated to this. So like just like little doodles during like vacations without like all of my tools and stuff, just like little sketchbook doodles that I did in my sketchbook while I wasn't recording. And that just means that there's not as much actual redesign happening in the redesign video, which is kind of not exactly what you want when you're making a redesign video. You kind of, want that happening in the actual video. It also just, I took way too long to make this, just because I kept putting it off. Like, I would film a piece of it and then just not think about it for a few months, and then go back and work on it a little bit, and then forget about it, and then work on it. So, like, this whole thing started in December, and we'll see when this finally gets uploaded. Yeah, I filmed the first part in December, and I didn't really do much afterward, and then sometimes I would do a whole lot. Yeah, it really should have taken like I could have done this in like 3 days, like a week at most, if I had actually focused on it, but I didn't. And that definitely, well, it's not great, and also it meant that my art style changes dramatically throughout the video, because December, like after Christmas break, is my second semester of college, and then during that semester I was taking some more foundations art classes. So before, the first semester I had a 3D art class and an art history, and then this semester I had a 2D art and a drawing class, which means I spent a lot more time drawing, which means I got a lot better at drawing by the end of the semester, and therefore by the end of the video, which means that there's just a huge difference in quality, like a very large gap in quality. Like, it might as well have been, the first part might as well have been made by a different person than how it ended. Not that all of it was necessarily supposed to look great. The little sketches were just sketches, so they weren't supposed to be good, and the little animations at the beginning I didn't spend a lot of time making them good, and wasn't really trying to make them look good. I was just trying to get them done, because animation is kind of a pain. And I was doing it in FlipaClip, so you have to be at least decent at animation to make things look good with that. And I'm not, because I don't do it very often. But it did mean that the end of the video does look pretty good, so I like that. At least I like that it ended with some pretty decent quality. I think it ended up being more of an animatic as opposed to an animation towards the end, but that's because I did it in Procreate instead, and also I just, quality over quantity. I wanted the frames to look good as opposed to move smoothly, and I think it's good. I'm also still learning how to do this. I have not made very many videos as a whole, at least not one. I haven't made any with good editing, and I've been editing parts of the video while making it, so it's better than some of the previous long form videos I've made. But it's not going to be, it's not going to be very good because I still don't really know what I'm doing. So that's fine. It's a step that I am taking, and at the very least I can say that I am getting better, and that this is definitely a step up in quality from some of my previous stuff. So overall, pretty happy with this. The change in art style definitely benefited this last part because I really like how it looks. And I have a design that I can use and actually look forward to using and be interested in instead of being bored with it halfway drawing it. Also, I was kind of thinking of giving this little character their own name, just even though I already have like a pen name for myself. I don't know, I feel like while this is sort of my persona for this, they can also be a bit of their own character. I don't know, I just kind of liked the idea of naming them Gadget. I thought it was fun and kind of fits. Although I also kind of like Changeling as a name, although I feel like it'd be a little bit on the nose with the ideas that I have with what they are, even though they look like a goblin. Clearly they're not if they turn into a shadow. So, I don't know if anybody is watching this and they have an opinion on it. That would be helpful. If anybody had a preference between Gadget and Changeling for a name. Otherwise, I'll probably just pick Gadget. Although, I don't know, I'm kind of starting to grow fond of the other one. Anyway, there's that. Comment if you want, if anybody's there. In terms of the background, which I kind of just threw together at some point, and kind of was doing that while I was doing the backgrounds for the FlipaClip animation, because I realized even though I didn't really want to think about their environment yet, I kind of did have to put them in one if I was setting this whole thing up. Yeah, it's not great, but it's good enough, and I can easily spend some time and make something that looks a little bit better. So yeah, this might be temporary, but probably not gonna work on that right now. Also, the outfit for this is not finished. If you look at the speed paints, which I'm assuming I'm putting in, I did draw a cloak for each frame. I just never colored it because I didn't feel like doing it at the time. I didn't want to take the time to add that in. Well, I took the time to add that in, but I didn't take the time to color it in because I didn't want to. And I kind of wanted to just start hurrying up and getting all the pieces for this together. So there's that. I will be coloring it in, so that will probably be in other videos. I also might draw in a backpack too to have instead of a cloak, so that I can have some variety between videos, I guess. Assuming I'm going to make more stuff like this. Who knows? So yeah, there's that. I also just got a new microphone. I haven't tested it yet. I'm not using it yet, but I did just get a snowball. So I have to test that out, see if it actually works. If it does, hopefully that will make these things sound a little better. And also just spending more time talking because my voice is already getting tired. So I got that. So next time I do something like this, hopefully it means that the audio will be a little bit better. At the very least more convenient, so I can just do it on my computer where I'll be editing this instead of having to do it in my phone and then have to move that over to the computer, because I'm just recording this in my notes app. With the mic, I can actually maybe do this on the computer. Maybe. Look forward to that. Otherwise, I guess this would be the end of the video, because I got nothing else to say, so yeah. Bye.